Sometimes the biggest secrets in human history, the most profound ideas, aren't hidden in some complex formula. They're tucked away inside a single, simple word. Today, we're going to unlock one of those words, a single verb from the book of Genesis that, I promise you, has the power to completely change how we think about partnership, about consent, and about what a perfect union really looks like.
So we're about to go on a real journey today through what's known as Pardes. That's the 4 classic levels of mystical interpretation. We're going to peel back the layers of just one verse to find a timeless blueprint for human connection. So here's our roadmap. Here's how we're going to break this all down.
And it all starts right here, Genesis chapter 12. Vayikach Avram et Sarai ishto. And Abram took Sarai his wife. That's it. 3 simple Hebrew words that describe this huge pivotal moment. You have a man and a woman, and they're about to leave everything they've ever known to start a journey into a total unknown. I mean, on the surface, it seems pretty straightforward, right?
But what if it's not? What if our modern way of hearing that word took, to grab, to claim, to possess, what if that's actually blinding us to a much deeper, much more revolutionary meaning? What if this one word holds the entire secret to creating a partnership that is truly, deeply unified? That is the big question we're diving into today.
Okay, so let's start at the ground floor, level 1, the pshat, the simple, literal meaning. I want you to just picture the scene. Imagine the soft, golden light of an ancient desert sun, this immense, quiet landscape stretching out forever. And in the middle of it all, 2 figures, Abraham and Sarah. The text says he took her and they left. So in this literal read, it's a physical action. He's the leader, she's his wife, and this whole epic journey starts because he says so. It's a simple patriarchal story that, let's be honest, we're all pretty familiar with.
But now we're going to climb up to the second level, the drash. This is the deeper interpretive reading. And this is where we get to challenge that simple story. You see, mystical texts like the Zohar teach us that words aren't just sounds. They are vessels, containers of divine energy. So to really get what's happening here, we have to look past the physical action and into the spiritual process behind it.
And this slide just lays out that shift in perspective perfectly. On the one hand, you have the literal view, which kind of implies force, possession, but the mystical view, it flips the whole thing on its head. It becomes about consent, about spiritual alignment. The question completely changes from what did he do to how did they connect?
And this, right here, is the big reveal. The Zohar tells us that vayikach does not mean to seize by force. Its deeper, truer meaning is to persuade, to draw close using beautiful and convincing words. This changes, well, everything. The journey doesn't start with a command. It starts with a conversation. Abraham paints a vision that wins Sarah's heart, and it's her active, conscious consent that is the essential power that makes the entire journey even possible. All right, take a deep breath, because now we're going into the deep end. We're entering the Sod, the secret doctrine. This is where we get to see the divine architecture, the hidden cosmic mechanics that are powering this sacred conversation. If the Drash told us what happened, a persuasive dialogue, the Sod is going to show us how it happened, using the literal building blocks of reality itself. So in Kabbalah, the idea is that all of creation is structured through these 10 divine energies or emanations called Sephirot. And it turns out the dialogue between Abraham and Sarah is a perfect miniature model of this cosmic system. As you can see here, there are 4 key energies in play. Abraham's loving persuasion, Sarah's strength of consent, the harmony of their actual conversation, and the journey that results from it. Let's break each one down. First up, we've got chesed, which is loving kindness. Picture it as this brilliant, flowing white light. This is Abraham's energy. It's active, it's giving, it's expansive. He doesn't command, he reaches out. He shares a vision that's so compelling and so full of love that it just invites connection. This is the spark, the initiating force in their divine dance.
But see, chesed all by itself is just boundless, flowing energy. For it to have any real impact, it needs a vessel, a container. And that is Gevura, strength or discipline, represented here by the strong red. This is Sarah's sacred power. Gevura isn't opposition, and it's definitely not weakness. It's the power to set boundaries, to have discernment. It's the strength to listen, to really evaluate, and then to give a yes that is conscious and full of meaning. Her consent is what gives shape and form to his vision, making it real.
So how do you bring these 2 opposing forces together, the expansive white of chesed and the defining red of Gevura?
Well, the bridge between them is Tiferet, which means harmony or beauty, represented by green. Tiferet is their conversation. It's the truthful, beautiful speech that allows Abraham's outgoing energy and Sarah's discerning strength to come together and create something new, a perfect, harmonious union.
And what happens when all of this clicks into place? The result of this perfect alignment is Malchut, which means kingdom or receptivity. Its color is this deep, foundational blue. Malchut is the physical reality that emerges from their spiritual union. It is the journey itself. It is the kingdom they're going to build together, a kingdom founded not on force, but on a perfectly balanced agreement. Their spiritual handshake becomes a real path in the real world.
So you see, the whole process starts with two separate people, each one embodying a distinct divine energy, Abraham's chesed and Sarah's gevura. It's a state of pure, powerful potential. And through that bridge of Tiferet, their harmonious conversation, they achieve one unified mission, one shared path. The mystics actually teach that in this moment, they essentially create a single, complete soul, a unified entity that's now ready to face the world together.
The Zohar describes this ultimate connection with just breathtaking poetry. It calls it a zivug neshikin, a union of kisses. Now, this isn't literal, of course. It's a metaphor for the most intimate alignment you can imagine. Ruach beruach, spirit connecting with spirit. It's the fusion of two souls through divine, life-giving speech, where the very breath of one becomes the breath of the other.
Okay, so this ancient mystical framework is unbelievably profound, but how do we make it practical for our 21st century lives? Let's try to translate this cosmic engineering into a language that maybe we use a little more often.
I want you to think of this whole interaction not as a command, but as a secure, cosmic communication protocol. We're calling it the divine handshake, and it's designed to safely synchronize two completely independent systems. Here's how the protocol works. Step 1. Abraham, channeling that chesed energy, initiates a connection. He sends a request, not a command, and it's packaged in persuasive speech. Step 2. Sarah, embodying Vora, performs a mutual authentication. She verifies the request, checks its integrity, and provides her conscious authorization. This isn't a master-slave relationship. It's a secure, peer-to-peer connection. Step 3. Their dialogue, that's Tiferet, synchronizes their permissions. Their individual wills become perfectly aligned. And only then, only after all that, comes Step 4, Malchut. The shared process, the journey, is executed as a single, unified operation. Nothing happens without that mutual consent. Okay, if the tech analogy was a bit much, how about this one? Let's think of their partnership as a cooperative role-playing game, an RPG. And to advance in this game, both players absolutely have to work together, especially in these key dialogue moments. So, Abraham walks up to a critical plot point in the game. He's got a dialogue tree with a few options. He could use command or maybe demand, but he's smart. He chooses the right path, the one that's powered by his core strength. He selects loving persuasion, which is the energy of chesed. And now, it's Sarah's turn. The game literally cannot continue without her input. She could respond with refusal or reluctance, and the quest line would just end right there. But she makes the perfect corresponding move. She uses her power of Gevura not to block, but to build. She chooses consenting agreement. And because their choices were in perfect alignment, his chesed was met with her Gevura, the system registers a successful interaction. Ding! Quest unlocked, journey to Canaan. You see, the game can only move forward. Their shared destiny can only be fulfilled when both players make conscious, aligned choices in that dialogue tree.
So let's just pause for a second and see how far we've come. We traveled from a single, simple word, down through all the layers of mystical interpretation, into the divine mechanics of the Sephiroth, and we even translated it into modern analogies. And what we're left with is not just the story about Abraham and Sarah. It's a timeless, powerful blueprint for creating true unity.
So here's a quick recap of our journey together. We started with just one word, Vayikach. We questioned it. That revealed a hidden dialogue of persuasion and consent. This opened the door to the secret dance of the Sephiroth, which we then translated into modern code to make it practical. And the result? A clear blueprint for what a truly unified path looks like.
So what are the big takeaways from all of this? First, and this is huge, true partnership begins with speech, not with force. Second, consent and boundaries, that Gevura energy,
are every bit as sacred and powerful as loving kindness. Third, harmony or tiferet isn't just a passive state of being. It's the active, ongoing process that unites two souls. And maybe the biggest idea of all is that our most intimate relationships can actually mirror a divine pattern, and that these ancient texts hold a timeless code for human connection.
This blueprint isn't just ancient history. It's a living, breathing model for all of us. And it leaves us with a really important question to think about. In your own life, in your own relationships, how can you use this sacred power of speech to create a deeper alignment in your own joint quests? Thank you for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardes. We hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments. We'll see you in the next chapter.